Hey everybody, Adam Savage, and I am at the National Park Service Museum Conservation Lab in Charlestown, West Virginia with Anne. Anne, tell me what we're looking at here.
Okay, well, a few years ago, a trunk from the Cone family in North Carolina, the Blue Ridge Parkway, came to us for treatment.
Okay.
It had never been opened. It was locked. The lock was broken. Nobody knew what it might contain.
Does this kind of get you guys really excited?
It is. It's very
like
exciting. So we did conserve the trunk, and we did get it opened. But we're not really sure what was in that trunk. But of course, it sat unopened for 40 odd years.
Right.
So lots of mold, as you can imagine. So it was just the contents were bagged up and given back to the park. But this year they came back to us, the contents, for some treatment to see what they really had. So the objects, of course, were all in these small little Ziploc bags.
And these guys over here?
So I did the first bundle about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, looking something like this. And this is the picture of what I had. So again, not knowing what it would turn out to be.
So when you get something like this, it's been sitting in some place for decades, and you know that it's moldy, and that that all those processes of deterioration are continuing, and yet it's been going on for 40 years. So you know you have some time, but the conservator in you wants to immediately start to cease that deterioration.
Exactly.
And you
exactly.
feel that tension.
At least they've been, since the park has had it, it came, I think, to them in 1998 or so. It's been in a more stable environment.
Gotcha.
And everything was frozen, and it's been isolated within. So it's okay.
Oh, frozen to kill any bacteria.
Well, and bugs usually.
Right,
That's what we do for
Oh.
pest management now. Is most things get frozen. So
I did not realize that. That's so efficient.
Safer for the objects, safer for us. So, and we do a lot of that with textiles because with the multi-layers, you need to make sure you're getting any possible insect activity.
Oh wow!
killed.
I'll bet the history of conservation is replete with horrifying stories of. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, so this was the first bundle that I tackled a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And it ended up being, this is sort of a during treatment photo, it ended up being 3 handkerchiefs, still with the original Macy's tag on, 2 of them had the original Macy's tag on them, and then this one lovely tablecloth. And that's what we have here. So they were slowly opened up and surface cleaned, humidified a little bit, but then I wet cleaned both. And so this is the tablecloth, which still shows a lot of damage from the mold and from being creased. However, it's lovely. It's beautiful work. It's white on white embroidery. You have the fillet work. It's just gorgeous.
Holy cow.
So it's split, of course, wherever something is creased long term. And of course, this was probably a starched linen tablecloth because they starched everything back in the day.
And the starch, yummy food?
Yeah, of course. Mold, if mold is going to grow, that starch is a perfect substrate for it.
Right.
So, and it was, creased right along here. You can see there was a lot of splitting, so I put some stable text behind there. And eventually this will be rolled on an archival tube and much happier. At least now the curators know what they have. This was Bertha Cone. The Cone family was prominent. They were the biggest denim manufacturer in late 1800s out of North Carolina. So he's well known, but Bertha Cone, the wife, burned all her correspondence, dispersed her possessions, so she's sort of this enigma.
Wow.
So it's kind of fun to be able to see a few artifacts that represent her and her life.
It is really beautiful. As you are going through this process, I would assume that an uncareful unwrapping would cause this thing potentially even just to start break apart.
Yeah. Especially if something was silk, which we may come across. There's, I think, a silk scarf in one of those bundles.
So in that, are you working with the steamers and spritz bottles to kind of hydrate and get it?
When we usually do a more gentle local humidification process where just the vapor is going through, and you do it sort of crease by crease if you have to as you open it up.
So from the start of like unpacking this to this state, how long was that process?
I would say a couple days.
Okay.
Because I sort of undid things and vacuum cleaned one day, and then the next day we wet cleaned. So, and then of course making their mats. So the handkerchiefs that came out of here were so thin and small. I like to put them in small textiles or fragments. I like to put in these passive mats, just so they don't get lost in the shuffle and they're better protected. So this is just archival blue board. And so each handkerchief is now in its own little mat.
Oh, amazing.
So this is particularly a good system for really, if you have a beautiful fragment, you want to see the front and back, a researcher could come, you can open it up. You could put a piece of blue board on top, sandwich it, and then flip it over. And then a researcher can see the back to examine weave structure or whatever and not have to touch the textile at all.
That is
if you had something
spectacular.
really fragile. So anyway.
The most amount of access for the least amount of handling.
So you can see where the original tags were.
Oh, look
They
at
were
that.
They were iron,
Right,
corroding
a little
iron.
tiny,
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
But it had the old Macy's tag, 2 of them still. Yep.
Did you preserve the tags or were
Yep.
those totally,
Yep,
cool.
still have those.
Oh,
yeah.
nifty.
Yeah, which is nice. So now the curator, out of this first bundle, she now has 4 objects. So she's going to have to give me catalog numbers if she wants to keep them. And then I can put catalog numbers on them.
Are these sort of normal things that you find in tranches of objects like this? Or are there, is there potentially ideas of stuff you might find in there that you're excited about?
Yeah, this is probably, I was thinking it would be scarves, handkerchiefs. There may be some gloves in here. There's something with snaps that are in there. It's hard to know. Yeah. They also went on a world trip at some point, just before, I guess, he passed away. So sort of turn of the century, they went on this grand voyage around the world. So that's this trunk potentially accompanied them on this trip.
So you may find some international...
Exactly, possibly. Yeah, so it'll be fun. It makes it exciting.
I've looked at enough pairs of antique gloves and I always think that they're so small, and then I discovered antique glove stretchers. I didn't know that they had ways of making that work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how much more time will you devote to unraveling these?
We just have to we have to do all of them.
Amazing.
They have to be done this fiscal year, so yes, they will be done. They will be done. But yeah, it's a fun project, yeah.
Incredible.
And it's just nice to be able to preserve them. The curator will know what they have. They can interpret these if they so desire and get them in a better storage system.
May I lift one of these bags
of course.
Gently?
Yeah. Yeah, so in here you can see it looks like there may be some more scarves,
right?
Napkins. Wow. It's a little bit of needle lace going on there. So that will be, I can start opening it up today. We'll see what we have.
It must be, I mean, can imagine that every little bit that falls off feels a little like a loss.
A little bit,
yeah.
But a lot of what you're seeing is just debris and stuff from the bottom of the trunk. You can see there's a maple tree seed pod. We found some, even I think Fran in the other labs, because she's had some objects too. It's like random things that you would expect.
Are there times that I would imagine that there are times that extra debris can help you date or locate objects?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Exactly. So yeah, we usually bag and save everything, and then the curators can decide. But yeah, it's there for analysis later on.
Fascinating.
Yeah, at least this one they know where it was and where it was stored. But a lot of times if you don't, textiles can't talk, so it's nice to have, you just try to save all that information.
And then I'm assuming at the end of this process, you write up what you did. And were there any novel techniques you had to execute to do this, or is it a fairly straightforward conservation process?
So far, fairly straightforward, but we have a long way to go here.
Yeah, no, I mean, the crunchiness of these things looks amazing. Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, look at those tiny snaps.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what that is a fragment of, but we will see. And I'm assuming this is probably a printed silk scarf is my guess. And there's another bit of it over here. So that will be a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, putting that back together.
I mean, I made this joke off camera, but it really is sort of like owl scat as a textile, unpacking and finding all this narrative and history in there.
Yeah.
This is, the origin of half of my brain is in going through my grandmother's attic.
Right.
And this feels very similar. I know, we thought we were done too, but we're here filming the next day, and Anne, we have continued to unwrap what was in that box.
Yes.
Tell me what you've been finding.
We undid the next bundle of textiles, and we ended up coming up with 12 napkins with beautiful needle lace in them.
So beautiful.
And sets of cross-stitch embroidered napkins as well. So we have 3 blues. I think there's another blue in another bundle.
Do we know what the design is?
This is a little dragon. Can you see
it? It does look like a dragon.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Oh. I'm imagining maybe this is something that they picked up in their journeys when they took that world trip. And this is just a little ascot, a little bow for your neck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back in the day, they'd switch out collars and things like that. So it's in
It's because they weren't laundering their clothes. They were filthy, but this is how they looked clean.
Yeah. They dressed themselves up, Easy way.
You were telling me these are stitched together.
They had one single stitch. It was a set of 12, new, unused, presumably, because they still had that one stitch holding them together as a set.
That must Is that extra exciting for you, handling something that has like never got into?
So it's nice because it's in good, except for the mold and the fact that it's been sitting in a moldy trunk for so many years. But they're unused, so the lace and everything is very strong and in good shape. And this is just another lovely lace edged handkerchief right here. So again, mold has really eaten through a lot of the substrate, but
the mold is at this point totally dead.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And so there's nothing more natural that's happening within it that will continue the deterioration.
Right, exactly.
Do you guys do anything to stabilize the fabric?
We will. We'll probably have to line it with some stable tex and just to give it stability so it can be handled.
May I take a peek?
Sure. Yes, I can open that up.
Oh man, that's so pretty.
So there's 4 of these, and presumably there was 4 of these. So I think there's one more, and then we have 3 of these birds.
What is that?
It's a small bird, yeah.
That looks like such an 8-bit digital kind of design. It's hilarious that it's 100 years old or so. Is it about 100 years old?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because their trip that they took was, turn of the century.
Amazing.
Around 1906 is when they traveled, so.
It feels so human, traveling around, collecting stuff or bringing back home.
Right.
What an amazing extra bit of finds. Thank you.
Yes, it was exciting. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for watching that video. If while watching any of my videos you like any of the t-shirts that you see me wearing, well, you can go buy them. And there's 2 places you can get them. First, you can go to tested-store.com, a web address that my crew laughs is one of the hardest things for me to remember in my whole brain. But now they've given me a second URL. You can now go to adamsavage.com and buy any of the t-shirts you see me wearing on this channel. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff there too. Thanks.